Welcome everybody to Bicycle Central. This is my shipping container where I store my work gear, and it also doubles as a bicycle workshop slash garage. So it's chaos in here at the moment. It's winter, I've got loads of stuff packed in here. But I'll give you a quick little tour and maybe talk about a few things that are coming up, just to give you an idea of how this stuff in here is going to be used this year. Starting at the front, this is a little tiny unicycle. It's got an 11-inch wheel that my dad made me many years ago. I can still ride it, and if I pump this tyre up in a minute, I might just demonstrate that. Here is 1979 Pashley tandem, Pashley Tourmaster tandem. As you can see, currently missing a back wheel, but that's been off to a good friend of mine who has sort of like been reconditioning the 3-speed. When I purchased the bike, the 3-speed, it worked, everything worked, but it was really lumpy, really gummed up inside. So I'm not overly confident on taking apart 3-speeds and servicing them, but he's excellent at it. And actually, if you are in the South Bucks area, I'll put up a link to his website, because if ever you need any work done on a bike, he has a mobile service, so he will come, collect your bike, fix whatever needs fixing, and deliver it back to you. And he's the best bike mechanic I know. It's Rich Key Cycles, and I'll put a link up in the description. Well, I'm going to be getting that wheel back tomorrow, and this tandem is going to be used by Mary and myself on a tour around the Isle of Wight. So Mary and myself met when I was 11. She was 12, only just turned 12, but I was 11, she'd just turned 12. And that was many years ago, as you can see from the lines on my face. And there was a campsite called Stoats Farm, Tottenham Bay, Isle of Wight. And it's still a campsite, amazingly. So as part of our tour around the Isle of Wight, we are going to go and stay at that campsite, and the vintage bicycle will just make it a bit more fun and slightly chaotic, and yeah, should be good. Not sure the brakes are quite up to the job, but well, they worked in the 1970s, so I guess they'll have to work now. Moving down further, here is the daily driver. This is another Pashley, more modern. This one is the Pashley Pronto, which was the sort of commercially available version, or still is the commercially available version of what was the old postman's bike, the last generation of the postman's bike. Again, this is a 3-speed hub gear, but drum brakes on this. Really great all-weather machine. Maintenance is virtually nil on this thing. You just jump on it and ride it. It's great. It's got Schwalbe Marathon Plus tyres on it. They come fitted as standard. And on one of my other bikes, which for viewers to the channel who knew me in the days of Wilma, I had a set of those tyres fitted to another bike which is with a friend at the moment. And that bike did, I think, 12,000 miles on one set of tyres, and those tyres are still on it, they're still going, and I never had a single puncture. So that tells you how good those tyres are. This bike over here, 1945/46, not entirely sure, the frame number is a little bit tricky to give an exact date on that. 1945/1946 rally sports bike. or sort of single speed. It's obviously still in the wartime budget production, single speed gear. That one's actually up for sale, and there's a chap coming to see that tomorrow. So it's in a rough rideable condition. It's you know, it's original. It's very original, and yeah, rough rideable. This bike on the wall. This is something a bit more special. This is again, it's a rally, but it's 10 years older. It's 1935. This rally, and it's a sports model, as you can see on the frame there. It just still says sports with the gold lining. It has the gold painted head tube, which was indicative of the era. Sturmey Archer 3-speed shifter. Apologies about the light, it's very difficult to see, but low, neutral and high. There you go, it's finely focused. Sort of like, I suppose you might call that like a North Road bar, a slight drop. Paraffin lamps front and rear, which are going to be sort of the period. Lovely bike. Brooks, old style Brooks B15 saddle. The B15 is an old saddle. It's not made anymore. If it is made, I can't remember. It's different to how it was. But anyway, yeah, lovely bike. Something a little bit special. This bike, I hope you can see me. There we go. Hope you can see me. This bike is going to be used by me in on the Benson Veteran Cycle Ride, which I take part in with my dad every year. This is the first year I've actually had a bike of my own that qualifies to enter, because they have to be pre-1936 to enter. It used to be pre-1928, but they relaxed the ruling slightly. It has to be a genuine bike, no replicas. And all of that. They'll let you ride round on something that's in keeping, you know, if you're accompanying someone or whatever, which is what I always did. But this one actually qualifies in its own right. Lovely little leather tool pouch on there, the flaps on the other side to open it, but that's a lovely little thing. And really rather funky rear caliper brakes with a split cable. Fantastic. So now we're coming more modern. Not all that much more modern actually, because this is still a very old bike for its for the mountain biking world. This is a 1998 model Giant ATX 980. Full suspension, hydraulic rim brakes, because when this was made discs weren't a thing. Hydraulic rim brakes. I've just actually put this back to standard. Story with this bike is that I've got a flat tyre at the moment which I need to fix. Story with this bike is I purchased this new from Roy Pink Cycles many years ago, so 1998, and after a few years of having it I sold it and didn't think much about it anymore, moved on various different bikes, you know, as you do, as we all do. And recently, about 2 years ago, I needed to take part in a sort of retro cycling event, and I sort of thought, oh, look up, you know, the old ATX 980, and I actually ended up buying back my exact bike. Because I recognised it because of things I'd changed on it, and they were still the same. So that was quite phenomenal. It was exactly the bike I'd bought, completely by fluke. But there we go. So I appreciate you can't see it very well, but it's a 24-speed mountain bike of that era with the old hydraulic HS11 brakes. Behind that is Mary's bike. Which is a Rally Escape, sort of a hybrid with a 27.5-inch wheel, which is sort of like the modern size for these sort of things. There's a lot of a lot of these about now, big chunky wheels, but sort of nice for road and trail, and yeah, we enjoy getting out together on those. Mary is very new to cycling, but we can take, you know, sort of like short rides and sort of involve coffee stops and things like that, and it's ideal. It's a really great bike for that. Really good introduction for her. But fairly soon we're going to be switching onto the tandem that I showed you, because that's going to take, you know, a bit of getting used to, and that'll be fun to ride that around the Isle of Wight. So we'll be doing a bit of work, bit of riding on the tandem once I get that wheel back in it, and we'll get cracking on getting in some practice on that. We have ridden another tandem of that exact type, and done sort of a short 30-mile mountain bike, short 30-mile charity ride, and that was fine. She was absolutely fine on that. The entire distance around the Isle of Wight is only 65 miles, but we're going to be breaking it down into short days because it is hilly. It's very hilly terrain, so that's going to be tiring. I'm going to lower the gearing on that as well to make it easier, but other than that, it'll be as it is there. Now we come to the silly bikes, or silly bits. This is my tall bike, as you can see. If I stand next to it, oh god, lighting issues. It's tall, yeah. So I'm 5'10", so those handlebars are what, 5'8", something like that. The saddle's up about 6 foot. I don't know, probably about 5'10", same as me. Yeah, it's long and it's tall, and it's got crazy lights. And on the front also, running down the fork leg. Up there is a steel frame. That's a frame from a bobbin wagtail, which is a sort of a, they're quite cool bikes actually, but that's a frame from bobbin wagtail. Cheap, sort of mass produced, made in China, but it was a pretty nice bike to ride. But I think I'm looking to sort of change that possibly into some sort of cargo bike. I'm either going to make a recumbent or a cargo bike next, another cargo bike. I can't work out what I'm going to have a crack at welding up, but it's probably, realistically, it's probably going to be some sort of load carrying bike, because that's going to be more use to me. Here is an old Specialized rock hopper. That again, that's about 1998. That's probably going to get sold, stripped, cleaned, sold. It's not worth a lot of money, but it'll do someone a good turn. The forks on it, 26-inch forks, are getting harder and harder to find. I may keep those, I may sell them on. I don't know what to do with those. Ding! And a set of wheels on the back. Oh, and just here is my Surly long haul trucker, which is sort of my longer distances go-to bike, really. That sort of, yeah, it's modern, just get on and do, load it, ride it, enjoy it. So there you go, there is a whistle stop tour of the bikes. Apologies about the terrible camera work and stuff like that, but that's pretty much the current fleet. I've got another bike with my dad that he's borrowing on sort of like a long-term loan as well. So there's kind of bikes everywhere. Bikes have always been a part of my life, and well, since I was about 5 or 6, when I learned to ride something with the little wheels of the unicycle that you've got up there, that sort of size of wheel. But yeah, they've always been a part of my life, and I'd like to think that they always will be. There's something very magical about riding a bike. It's just when you learn that skill as a child, the amazement of it and the ease of it never leaves you. You know, it's that free rolling nature is fantastic. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Hope that hasn't bored you too much, and I need to tidy up, but for now I'm just going to grab a bike out and go to the shop. So I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.